Welcome to Stas Listen. Now today we're doing a simple review on Origin 325A. This is considered a combat interceptor. It's a decently big ship, it does pack a heck of a punch, and is slightly below light fighters in many of its aspects. Of the Origin 300 series, this has the most amount of firepower. It is considered more of a combat ship than the other ones as 315P, which is a exploration pathfinding, and 350R, which is racing competition. They all have slight differences, the racing one having the best turn rates, the maximum speeds, the exploration one having the most amount of cargo space and the most amount of fuel. It's not as maneuverable as the other two variants, but it is still quite capable. 350R, the racing one, has the best speed, the best turn rates, but is extremely fragile because of its health pool. While the 325A, which we'll be focusing today, has the biggest weapons, big health pool, and acceptable maneuverability for a combat interceptor. All three of these variants are actually pretty fast. There are other ships that fall into the same category, same size, and are relatively slower, but these boast a pretty good maximum speed. As for the stock loadout, it's not actually too bad. It could be better. It starts with military grade C mostly. It's got a Gatling as its size 4 and 2 laser cannons as its size 3s. The weapons themselves offer a steady rate of fire and pretty good damage for what they are. Are there betters? Definitely. There are laser repeaters which can lay in a lot faster. There are ballistic weapons that can burst a lot faster. Having a size 4 and size 3s, you can actually aim in from pretty far away, although I don't suggest it. Because of the different weapons, the different ammunition flying speeds, you need to be pretty close to lay in with everything that you've got. I'm mentioning this because size 4s and 3s give you an option to start firing from really far away. I personally wouldn't fire over 700 meters with all of my weapons at once, especially if I have ballistics, because that ammo you can't really get back. For my own loadout, I swapped out all the weapons, upgraded all of my military grade C to military grade A, and put in a civilian grade A quantum drive. I didn't change any of the rockets because it's already got the 4 size 3s and the size 2s are just quite acceptable. I did bring down my DPS, but instead I increased my alpha damage by double, and also I do a lot more damage before my weapons need to recharge. It might not be an ideal loadout for fighting these light fighters, but it does have size 4 and 2 size 3s, so I can take on bigger targets or even harass some of the smaller targets when I get my aim on them. Even a couple of hits from this will take down their shields and few more will finish them. The ship has got a cargo bay and pretty decent interior. It looks really nice because it's more of a luxury ship than it actually is a combat ship. But that doesn't mean it isn't meant for combat. Another lovely thing, of course, is the way you enter the ship. It's got a door and it's pretty high up, so even if you leave your door open, nobody else will really get in there. Inside you have quite a bit of space. You have your bed, you have your little closet, and a couple of wine glasses in the back. Or well, champagne, doesn't matter. While up front you do have the cockpit and of course your little relieving station. You can see through the ceiling, which is also a added beautiful benefit, although there is no other use for it than just being beautiful. For me, it's quite important to also have a bit of inventory. And having a way from outside the ship to put things into the ship without being in the ship can occasionally be quite good. And this is why I like this little cargo bay. Now, I can't really fit much here, but a set of heavy armor plus the magazines plus medpen, it's taken up 9%. And if I throw in some other trash, it will probably be around 10. The inventory is pretty capable, pretty nice, and this is one of those ships you can do bunkers with if you want to go looting as well. If you buy this ship from the store for real money, you actually get a lot of different customization options, which you can slightly pimp out your ship, its looks, its skins, its interior. You can make it feel more suiting to your style than being the stock variant, which is also quite beautiful. Since the ship is designated as a combat interceptor, it's not really meant for fighting other light fighters. It can be a support ship, it can chase down other targets, it can force other targets, you can do fighting with it, especially against NPCs where it works, but against players you probably want something a bit more nimble. But it's still pretty nice for its size. There may be other ships that are better combat interceptors, there may be other ships that are just better at catching up, but I think this is also pretty nice, and the firepower just makes it more interesting when you're chasing down somebody. Although there usually isn't a scenario where you can or are forced to chase down a target unless it's another player. Most of combat is either gonna take place in dogfights or just spinning, fighting, maneuvering. Yeah, this ship doesn't really boast of that, but its weapons make it pretty good against fighting dropships, medium freight, just bigger and slower ships than it. The ship looks nice, most of its loadout is okay military grade C, it's very acceptable, although I suggest swapping out the ballistic weapon. Everything else, this ship is just beautiful, it will do the work for you, it has inventory space. It's not a light fighter, but it's a very beautiful home away from home. Anyway, thanks for watching.